Go. I do believe we're live once again. So I'll say, indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. What a dear pleasure it is to have you here again on another conscious evolution. Another opportunity for us to find ourselves considering our ability to catastrophize. Last night, we did some gardening, and there was a moment when Atlas and his granddad, Justin, our neighbors from across the street, came and had some conversations with us. Atlas is 5. He turned 5 on Monday, or he's turning 5 this coming Monday. He had his first day of school yesterday, and he loves Zoe, understandably. So him coming over to come and chat with us, I go, "You want to see Zoe?" And he's like, "Yeah." So I go and get Zoe. I leave Zoe's door open. I get him a little handful of sunflower seeds. And then I bring Zoe out and I give him some sunflower seeds. We make him do tricks, and Atlas gives him sunflower seeds. We get back inside after finishing stuff. I go for a shower. And after I finish my shower, we notice that Noodle is not in the house. Don't know where Noodle is. So we start looking for all of his regular spots. He has a spot underneath the computer desk. He has a spot underneath the benches in our kitchen. He has a spot behind the couch, and then on top of the couches, and then on the couch sill, right? So we go through all of the different spots that we're used to him usually frequenting, and he's not in any of them. So we conclude that he must have gotten out. Joe posts something on Facebook. We go out driving, looking for him. No luck, right? We come back home. We spend some time, seeing if anybody on Facebook have noticed anything, and then we leave again, right? Driving for another 30 minutes or so looking for him. It was literally pitch black dark at this point, so it was very hard to see much. We had our brights on for as much as we can, unless there were cars coming from the front. No luck, right? And I had this sneaking suspicion. I was like, I don't know why, but I feel he is in Zoe's room, right? Because I left Zoe's room open when I went to go and fetch him. And he likes, going in Zoe's room because there's a bunch of smells in there and stuff. So we come back home, we check Zoe's room, we check underneath the bed, and he's not there, right? So then there was bad sleep, right? Not happening pretty much. And I wake up this morning, right? I had some weird dreams, had some alien tech dreams, had this ball and cup, kind of almost like a mortar and pestle and a ball. And if you bring that ball into the mortar and pestle, it activates or something, right? But as I was holding these two pieces of tech, they were creating this energy in my hand. I could feel it. It was like this, almost like magnetism, right? Where they would pull in every direction nonstop, right? They were so heavy in energy that they were constantly and they would also have this vibrating kind of sense to it. And Jo apparently had this alien tech in her basement, right? And I was very, very weirded out by the fact that she's had this and she hasn't told me up until that point. And then I wake up, and in my waking life in this world, I still can feel the energy in my hands. And then I go back into my dream state. And then in my dream state, there are kids who have also somehow found tech like this, and they've modified their e-bikes so that they can fly. And I was like, of course. Why am I not surprised by this happening? And then I decided that I'm going to swim across the ocean with my piece of tech for some reason, right? And my brother and my dad was there as well. And the ocean was filthy. there were freaking fridges and washing machines and lawnmowers and just like whatever floating in the ocean, right? To the point where we could swim, but we would just jump from fridge to fridge deeper into the ocean, right? And sometimes we would gather dead fish. All right, my dad would be the one gathering dead fish. He was like, "We're gonna be hungry if we're swimming across the ocean." And I'm like, "I don't know if I want any already dead fish, bro, personally." And then I wake up, right? Cool dream. It was kind of weird. I wake up and I'm like, "Oh, wow, I'm back in reality." And I go out to, start the process of feeding Zoe. And as soon as I open the door, out comes Noodle. Out comes Noodle, like he's just like ready to be in the world again. And it was just so absurd, right? Like the amount of turmoil and stress and stuff we went through. I just got pranked. I just got pranked as well, bro. Pranked by Noodle. Like, psych. I'm not actually lost. Dog went to the pocket dimension, bro. Sam. And like there was, of course, catastrophizing, right? Like if he goes all the way out to the main road, right? Like there's a chance for him to get run over, and right, like maybe he's sleeping outside, maybe he gets into, some dog's territory, maybe, he's drowning in the creek. Like all of these, oh my, what ifs, catastrophize, and yeah. It's only once you wake up the next morning and the problems that you thought you were gonna face, doesn't exist, do you realize how silly it can be. It really is one of those things. But here we find ourselves on the other side of it, right? The catastrophe didn't happen. We catastrophized, but we find ourselves on the other side. The boy's name is Atlas. Bioshock fans, any rant idiots, or I picked up a coffee table book of Greek lit when I was pregnant, folks. I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe I picked up the coffee table of Greek lit. I don't know his mom. I know his granddad and his grandma. Sheila, Sheila and Justin. I know them. But I don't know his parents directly. He's a cool kid. He's, wholesome. I told him as soon as his grandpa told me his name is Atlas. I'm like, Atlas held the whole world on his shoulders, and he's like, he just had this smirky smile on his face. I don't know if he understood what I said, but it was wholesome. Sam, they might be really into maps. Hi, my friend. Hope your day was an amazing one, my brother. It's just getting started, Chad, and it is gonna be an amazing day, right? All of the catastrophes that we thought we were going to face today, we didn't, and that's good. All right, it's just small wins. We're winning here. Cool dream. Thank you, Khaled. It's nice having you here. What's up, Lord Commander? What's the topic today? Today's topic is our ability to catastrophize, right? Our ability to catastrophize is amazing. I try not to. I do try not to, but I don't think I'm there yet, right? I was also in that same state of stress, of like worry, However, I did try to present a calm and collected face, and I think in doing so, I might have been wrong, all right? I don't think me being collected was what was needed. Right. Maybe I should have been more worried or something. But I'm learning. I'm growing more mindful, little by little. This is the way. What's up, bro? Crystal here again. Welcome, friend. It's nice having you. I used to love the Durban beachfront. Nice and warm Cape. More colder at the Cape. The good hope and storms. It's true. Yeah, swimming in the Cape, it's not exactly as enjoyable. I still put my feet in the water though. I still did do it the last time that I was in Cape Town. The last time that I was in Cape Town was with friends of mine. You ever hear this story, Chad? My best friend Christian, he was madly in love with this really smart girl. right? Like one of those that is like just every person, right? Book reader, skydiver, rock climber, tree swinger. I don't know about that last one, but just this dynamic woman, right? Short hair, like pixie cut hair, blue eyes. She was just this, like in his words, like I never even saw her personally, right? But spectacular from his perspective. And he was madly in love with her. However, she lived in Cape Town and we lived in Pretoria, right? So, Pretoria at that point. We were like in Brooklyn area. And he was chatting with her. She did go to college with him in the same, Pretoria area. But then she moved back to Cape Town after she had finished her studies. And he was still very in love with her and was still actively engaged with her. But she told him that it couldn't work because she lived in Cape Town and he lived in Pretoria. It's like 1,600 kilometers from each other. Probably more. It's probably more. Let me see the exact number. It's like more than 1,000 miles. Let me out. Let me out. Thank you. Pretoria. Directions. Cape Town. The exact number is, okay, little bit less than 1,000 miles. Just a little bit, just like a smidgen. But that's the road. 16 hours of driving, right? Like this is where we started and that's where we went. And before we did that, of course, there is this deliberating happening, right? We're a group of friends. He's telling us he loves this girl. He's telling us she doesn't think it can work because they live too far away from each other. He's telling us he's gonna make a point that on this Friday, that's on its way. This is like Wednesday that we're discussing this. This Friday, we're going to get in a car together and then we're going to drive to Cape Town so that he can go and profess his love and his commitment to the relationship to her in person. And then we do that, right? He's working at this point, so 5 p.m. he gets back from work. Well, actually like closer to 6 p.m. he gets back from work. We get everything in the car and we start driving 1,000 miles, right? Down to Cape Town. And we make turns, right? Like take turns driving. We're having cool chats. It continues to be one of my favorite memories of like doing a road trip with my friends. And we get there at 9 a.m. on the Saturday, right? Every single one of us sleep deprived. None of us slept much at all, right? If at all. I don't think I closed my eyes for a second, right? I didn't sleep even a little bit. And then we get there and then we go to the beach. And that's when I went to go and put my feet in the water, Chad, even though it was cold. And I was like, this is not lekker. This right here, not lekker water. I don't want to keep my feet in here, but I'm gonna touch the damn ocean. You can bet my ass I just drove 1,000 miles. I'm gonna touch ocean. Can't stop me from touching ocean. I touch ocean. He goes and meet the girl. We basically chill on the beach, right, and waiting for him. And then he returns, right, around 3-ish p.m. he returns. To his dismay, the girl was like, "You're fucking insane. What's wrong with you? You can't just drive down to Cape Town on a weekend, on a whim." And of course, he's devastated. We, of course, laugh at him because we're good friends and we love him. And we're like, yeah, you should have kind of seen that coming. What did you think was going to happen, you silly boy? He is, of course, a little bit distraught, but he does feel all of us being on his side, right? Like we're messing with him, but we're still on his side. Like we don't care about this woman, right? Like we never even met her. He's the person that we're all there for, and we get back in the car. And this was like almost like the last real funny moment of the trip. where we're on our way back, and the fuel gauge is on empty. And on the way there, right, all the way on the way there, we're like chipping in. I chipped in like, how much was it? Like 600 rand, like $45 in fuel, right? Which is like a full tank, essentially. I like basically chipped in a full tank of fuel. And on the way back, right, as it goes empty, like we're just on our way out of Cape Town. It's empty, there's a fuel station. He pulls into the fuel station, right? And he starts getting out of his car to put fuel in his car, and he goes, "Is any of you gonna help with fuel on the way back?" And just like dead silence, like fucking crickets. Crickets in the car, right? And I could just see him being like, oh, like this is gonna be extra painful on the way back. And as we see his face being like, oh, we just start cracking. Like everybody, I think I started laughing first because I was the one sitting next to him, right? So I could really see his face. I start cracking. I crack. Adrian behind me cracks. Adam cracks as well. And then eventually he starts laughing too, where he was like, shit. Shit. Because we were never supposed to pay for fuel, right? That wasn't actually a part of the deal. We were just supposed to be there for moral support. And then we did end up paying for fuel, even though we didn't think we were supposed to, right? And then on the way back, we're like, nah, dude. No, all of us paid enough for fuel. This is going to be on your shoulders. So yeah, there you go, Chad. That's one of my Cape Town stories. Should I ditch my friends? Yes. You probably should. I'm glad all is well now. It is. Love is true. Everything is good. I will create a whole ass catastrophe out of nothing but an unread text and a vibe. I'm like the MacGyver of unhealthy perception. Too relatable, Sam. I get it. I get it. I really do. She was a Disney princess. She was a fairy. Only focus on the thing you can control, mate. Not everything can be controlled, so clear the mind and live in the moment. This is the way. Oh yeah. Yo, this channel is about conscious evolution. And today specifically, we're covering the topic of catastrophizing. Right? That when you imagine in your mind, you have the ability to really jump to conclusions, right? Come to the worst of perspectives, like be like, oh yeah, my life is over. Everything is going to explode. There's nothing worth looking forward to. Yada, 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 yada. Hi from Pakistan. Hello to you. Welcome. It's nice having you. A few streams ago, before I went on holiday, you looked depressed and you were crying. What happened, bro? I was sad. Right? That's what happened. I was sad. And I had to process my emotions by allowing myself to feel that way. There definitely was a conversation had, Bro, you look AI. I'm going to start taking that as a compliment, Blood Rain. I think at this point it's still kind of an insult, but the way that I'm interpreting the AI comments is that I look so perfect that I must be AI, right? And I'll be like, shit, thanks, right? I barely had any product in my hair today. I woke up like this. Can you say my name, please? Chandan Kumar. Hello, Chandan. Lol. That's why I need a handle. I'm happy that you found that funny. Buster is here too, saying, hey, Buster. It's nice having you. Yeah. This life thing that we're in. It's challenging, right? Sometimes you'll be sad. At the very least, nice shirt, bro. How you doing today? I'm feeling good. Thank you. This is one of my oldest shirts, right? It's starting to fall apart a little bit. I don't know where though. It is very durable, I'll give it that. It's been like 5 years of me wearing it like once a week, essentially. It seems to be sticking in there. Relax. He's not an AI. He is Jon Snow, our Lord Commander. Yes. It is interesting, right? People probably will only assume that I'm AI more and more as the future comes. Because I started doing these live streams a while ago, and I've been doing them every single day, right? Relentlessly. You can go and check out my channel. Literally, it's been 2,044 days of consecutive live streams. Day after 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 day. I have forgotten myself and re-remembered over and over again. I can go back and watch myself in the past and not know who it is I'm watching. And it's probably going to only continue being that way as 2,000 days become 20,000 days, as 20,000 days become 200,000 days. But Melt, if you're streaming 200,000 days, you're gonna have to be like 370 years old. Did I stutter? Did I fucking stutter? No, I didn't. No, I'm gonna stream forever. Forever and ever, and for never ever will I stop streaming, because I'm gonna stream forever. I'm gonna keep showing up. And I think, right, when I'm 375, people are gonna be like, 100%, this guy is AI. He's been streaming for 300 years. No way that's possible. And I'll be like, yeah? Oh yeah? It's fucking possible, dude. Anything is possible if you have sheer willpower. If you make a commitment, a deliberate decision that something will be so. You cannot be stopped. You do have extreme power. Extreme. Very powerful. I believe in yourself. Relax, it's not AI. Can you please say my daughter's name? Rianshi Kumari. That's a cute name. Sending your daughter and you lots of love, bro. Oh yeah, I have shirts like that too. It must hold hella memories. Yeah, this shirt remembers some stuff. Like talking about why do I need a why do I need a username? Because watch, check this. Watch, look, rooking, MeltMore. That's me. All right, channel. And go for videos. All right, let me go all the way deep. I should do this in a different way. Let me say latest. Let me say oldest. Boom. All right. Let's see the first time that you're gonna spot me wear this shirt. There's me day one. There's day one of me doing live streams. I used to have long hair. It was also a little bit more rounded, let's say. Let's see the first time that I'm wearing this shirt. There it is. Day 10. Day 10. There it is. There it is. There that shirt be. It was still black at that point. At that point, it was actually black. All right. Now it's like a soft gray. What a trip. Man, this shirt does have some memories. Woo! Look at that. You can see it. But it was black at that point, right? It has changed so much. I'm pretty sure I'm more jacked at this point as well than that version of me. Yeah. Oh yeah. Mega strong. Man. Myself. I have been myself for so long. Everybody is themselves all the time, Melt. It's just trippy when you see it like this. It's like when you see yourself as a reflection of yourself, right? Because I'm definitely no longer that person. Very much not so, all right? Look at him. Look at him. He's so naive. He doesn't even know how many times life will kick my ass in the meantime. You're gonna have your, like this one is actually good. There you can really see the shirt that I'm wearing. There you can really see it. Yeah, day 35. Silly Bo Billy. Let's see day 44. Yeah. What was I talking about? 2,000 days ago, I was talking about life. And every moment being art. So philosophical. So philosophies. Well, but it's true. Every day is a moment in art, you know. Every day is a moment to be inspired, a moment to have some good stuff. Hey, long hair melt. In 2000 days, you're gonna be a married man in America. Yeah, buddy. He would not believe me. They're like, what? I what now? 2000 days from now, I'm what now? I'm living in America and married? Be like, no, can't be. I don't think he'd believe me if I told him I had cut my hair either. I'm like, I cut my hair, dude. No longer do you have long hairs. I'm on my way back there though. Like my hair is actually like down to my chin at this point. Right? It just curls up like that. Oh my goodness, congrats. Thank you. I think you look nice with long hair, to be honest. I think so too. I really thought I looked good with it, right? And I am technically growing it out again, but I don't think I'm going to let the sides grow long again. But maybe, right? I do have like a little mohawk that's starting to grow back here. I don't know if it can be seen. Like when I had my haircut, Jo was actually the one who did it, and she cut a little triangle on my hair at the back there. How do you make time in your schedule to live stream? I find the time, right? I don't always do it at the exact same time, like this time slot. I try to keep it consistent with this time slot so that you friends know where to find me, when to find me. However, if I don't make it in this time slot, I find somewhere in my day where I still do it. The shortest stream that I've done was like 7 minutes, and there was one day when the grid was down in South Africa, right? There was no electricity. The cell towers were down as well, but I still recorded myself on that day. I was like, it's fucking dark. And I uploaded it the next day. So I'll count that one. I still showed up for love on that day. I'll count it. But yeah, that was the only day where I faltered. And that fucking day will haunt me for the rest of my existence. Until I forget about it, of course. And then I'll be free to lie, you know, with ignorance. Oh, bro, it makes me feel calm and relaxed. Good. This is what this is for. Like, seriously. It makes me happy that you can find some chill in this space. Bro, I try hard to understand, but my brain is not braining after I hear your words. It's okay, Blood Rain. I sometimes say things that sound insane, right? Like someone hearing that I do believe, like seriously, right? I don't know why I believe with so much certainty, but I do believe that I'm going to live to 1,000. Right? I'll become a 1,000-year-old being. I'll be one of the ancients. I will, right? I'll be one of the ancients, right? And I will continue my commitment, even if I do become one of them. Only gods got power. Yeah. All right, you ever wonder about the Hindu gods, right? The Shivas and Ganeshas and Vishnus, right? Stories having been told. I think we're in the era where human technology and flourishing is going to get so extreme, we're going to again be indistinguishable from gods. And there will be stories told about us in the same way. However, as soon as that happens, maybe there will be some sort of catastrophe. Maybe there will be some bigger bad, right? And I will have to fight them. Maybe I will be slain in battle, right? The best kind of death. I would. If I'm gonna die, I need to die in battle, right? My Viking genes says it must be so. Otherwise, I don't get to go to Valhalla. You believe in Valhalla? No, not actually. But it sounds cool to say it, doesn't it? Oh, wow, you look so different. Yeah, right? Really different. He doesn't even know. He doesn't know. Oh my goodness, congrats. Are you Indian? You look Indian, bro. I have like 1/64th Indian, right? I think pretty much like that much. Like one of my great grandmas were Indian, right? So there's like a smidgen, just a little bit of Indian in me. right? I do want to go to India. India has been calling to me as well. The Himalayas have been calling to me. Come and check out the Himalayas. You're gonna feel so spiritually inclined. You're gonna want to sit on a rock and meditate for 5 years. And I'll be like, yeah, yeah. The rocks are speaking to me. They're telling me to abandon all my previous worldly possessions and completely integrate with the plants. Yes, sit watching waterfalls or something. Can we see a dance, please? Adrian, you with your relentless wanting me to dance. Yes, yeah. Boom, that's a dance. That's also a dance, okay? Can't say it isn't. That's dancing too, I think. Surely. Surely, just a little bit of movement. I think okay, now that was music too. Oh, boom. Boom. Having danced. Oh, you're in? No, not anymore. I used to be in South Africa. I bet the food there is amazing. It is. Oh, that is the one thing that I miss. I mean, of course, I miss my family too. But I can't. I shouldn't say that sentence. I can't cut into my family and eat them. Yes, yes, I can't do that. All right, but I do miss them too. I have access to them through the digital mediums. I can call and text. My dad sent me a bunch of voice notes kind of recently. He also sent me some photos of olive wood. All right. Yeah, look at that. That's the photo my dad sent me this morning. He sent me a photo of some mushrooms carved in olive wood. It's cute. I like it. Those do look like they're one of those, I'll just say. One of them's. That was minimal dance, but still dance. Thank you. Still smiled. Good. Yeah. Winning. Winning. Absolute winning. What will you be doing at 1,000 years old? Everything that I can do right now, right? If you think I'll be bored, then you underestimate my creativity. Yes, there will be even more for me to do. I would probably be building. I'm gonna be spending like the middle of my life, right, from ages like 200 to 800, probably like building, lots and lots of building, so much building, just too much, just relentlessly building stuff. I do want to have a city of my own on the ocean. That's like my 800-year-old goal. I want to have a city on the ocean, right? I want it to be anchored to the ground with, pulleys that can turn wave energy into electricity. Of course, covered completely in solar panels. Any excess electricity that's created gets turned into cooling forces, helping keep our oceans cold. And then, of course, like a bunch of marine infrastructure, right? Imagine like a floating coral reef that's attached to the bottom of the city, right? So the fishums can be completely happy. Yep. Floating city on the ocean. That's what I want to do, right? And then by the time I'm 1,000, ideally, I get to chill on my ocean city, right? I want to just chillax. At that point, that's gonna be a chillax version of me. Like I'm gonna probably chillax like the first couple of years of my life, a couple of first 100, like relatively chillax, right? And then I'm gonna get really into it in the middle, and then chillax at the end again. Ideally, that's what I want at least. Would you live to 1,000 if you had to upload your mind to the internet or a virtual world? Maybe. That probably could be the way that things end up going as well, right? And I probably would. Right? What I think a soul is unencumbered by the mind, right? The mind is like an extension of your soul. So if I upload my mind to a machine, I don't know that that thing is going to be me, but I'm sure it will think it is. All right, which I think is pretty cool. And I think whatever that thing thinks it will still have the ability to do good, even in an uploaded reality. So I'll let him. I'll let him be his uploaded self, right? Even if it means that me and him would have to separate. What I probably end up seeing happening is that I'm going to, with this medium, right, have so much data about who it is I am that I'm going to be able to create a digital version of myself before I have to upload myself. And then before I upload myself, I'm going to symbiosis with the digital version of myself to the point where there is no clear distinction between what I am and what he is. And then at that point, when I upload, there will be less dissonance. That's the way I imagine it at the very least. But who am I to say? I'm just talking out of my ass. At this point, I am flesh and bone. I am a human being, right? Spirit living as human being. I get hurt. I cry sometimes. I cry. Oh, sometimes I'm big sad. Sometimes I'm like, shaking my fist at the sky. Sometimes I'm like, why, cruel God? Why? And then sometimes I'm like, thanks. Thanks, wonderful God, for this blessed experience I get to have. All right. And the fact that it's such a duality seems to be what keeps it interesting. All right. Keeps you on your toes. Never know what's going to happen next. How can bone dust be returned to a state where they can be melted? I don't think bone dust wants to be melted, right? It does burn to ash. But I'm pretty sure you can heat ash up enough that it, turns into a type of glass. Is that possible? Hey, Google, can you turn ash to a type of glass, right? Can it be molten? I'm saying no. I'm thinking no. Yes, you can. Ash melts into a liquid at high temperatures, typically above 1,000 degrees Celsius. Because it contains silica and mineral fluxes like potassium and calcium, molten ash cools into a glass or a type of slag. And then plant ash has historically been mixed with sand to make glass. The more you know. 1,000 degrees Celsius. I can become glass one day. That's very interesting theory. I mean, we already have literal cybernetic implants and brain chips, and I will, literally, probably be first in line, right? Probably not. I probably will wait for like Gen 3 brain chips when they become available. In part because I'm probably not going to have the financial means to get the brain chips when they're available. And I don't think the first ones are going to be as good as the third ones, right? It's going to be like the iPhone. You can technically take them out and get the better ones put in. And the new brain chips don't have to cut your dura open. If you know what that means, I'm sorry that you're one of me. They're going to have to take a plug out of your skull. And then technically they used to have to take another plug out of your dura, which is this like leathery membrane that covers your brain, right? And your brain doesn't like that. Your immune system loses its fucking mind about it when you cut into the dura. And now we don't have to anymore. Huzzah! They figured out a way to put the implants straight through the dura into the brain, which is going to be great for actually commercializing this technology and bringing it to the masses. And I will be getting brain chips. Yep, I'll probably get 2 in the back of my skull that like interface with my visual cortex, and then I'll probably get 2 for each of my limbs, right? So that I can interface with my technology without having to use my little meat sticks, all right? And then I probably will have some sort of local server that I record every single one of my pulses to. Every single one of them, right? And then that is going to become a layer on top of my digital layer, right? And then there will be some sort of synchronization happening, right? As I continue showing up every day in this digital medium, and that version of me keeps recording my brain waves, right? That version of me that's in the internet will become more and more convinced that it is myself. And then I will have to convince myself, this myself, that I am one and the same. And then once we get to like, psh, psh, you know, then maybe the next step will be a little bit easier. I wish I was joking. I've spent a lot of time thinking about this. I started telling my schoolmates that I'm gonna get chips in my brain when I was 17. All right, before they even thought that was ever gonna be a thing. I'm gonna put chips in my brain. I'm gonna become a cyborg. And they're like, okay, Melt, you're insane. That's never gonna happen. And look who is turntabling now. Fucking chips are in people's brains. Paraplegic people can now operate their wheelchairs with their brains. They can use robot arms to feed themselves. That's fucking insanely cool. They can see their kids play. They can play with their kids. They're playing games. 4 paraplegic dudes playing Mario Kart together. That's the world we live in today. And I saw it coming from a mile away. I've been seeing it coming this whole time. Whatever it is I am knows where it is. And it's dedicated to the journey. Yeah, evolution is not easy. Evolution is messy. Evolution looks like destruction sometimes. Melting away of what you think used to be, right? So that something new can take its place. The little wiggle. I'm happy that you like that. That was minimal dance, but still dance. I mean, you can, but you shouldn't. Why shouldn't I? That's the real question, right? I see humanity as a process of evolution, right? Literally. There's been 100 billion human beings before you. 100 billion. And those 100 billion human beings had 100 billion human experiences, right? Love and hate, children, raising them, death, the experience of life, you know, as we've had it before, suffering, potentially, lots and lots of suffering. And all of that has brought me to this point of existence, right? And I, in the same way, have to carry that torch forward, right? And I do believe that it's my responsibility to carry the torch of humanity forward into this new age of what seems like the uncertain, right? You can call it darkness if you want to, right? If you think that brain chips is going to be something evil, then you, or at least that's the way I see it, I need to be the good that is brought to that space, right? If it's only going to be evil people that utilize that technology, then we will need good people to utilize that technology, right? It's like we need to have someone on the front line. If you look at the cyberpunk universe, we're going to need edge runners. We're going to need the rebels too. We're going to need them, all right? Otherwise, we're doomed. Can't give up. You cannot give up. You have to push forward. You have to become what's next. God bless this channel and everyone watching. That's nice. May your days be filled with peace, hope, love, and happiness. Stay blessed. Stay blessed, friend. Thank you for blessing this space and this channel and all the friends here with us. May you be blessed as well. I'm gonna go make myself some breakfast. It's very early for me. Have a great day, man. Have a great day. Thank you for joining us. Do subscribe. I'll look for you next time. It was nice having you here. Adrian say the philosophy of the day is that daily time with MeltMore makes everyone's life better. That's nice. Thank you. Adrian, I don't know about everyone, right? I have definitely said things in the space that have triggered people, that have made them feel unseen. Maybe I've made them feel like I'm trying to shame them. I think I've done that, right? However, that was never my intention, and I'll always come back the next day with the potential to be better, to try and make everyone's life better in the way that I can. I eventually want to own a city on the ocean. Easier, Kevin Bacon. We're not doing a Waterworld reboot. We're not doing BioShock either. No, we're doing the third option. We're in the third option, right? It's going to be called Meltopolis, or Meltopia, or those are the two that I'm spitballing. Yes, Meltlantis. How about that? Hey chat, what do you like to do while listening to Melt? I've been making some intuitive art and loving the pieces. Colette, like you're new here in the space with us, but it feels like you've been here the whole time, right? When I started these live streams, one of the things that I was pressing, for in this community is that I'm going to be like talking head. You can maybe get some entertainment from just watching me being all emotive and stuff. However, I suggested, always recommended, that you join me in this daily journey to do something that you love as well, right? And you making intuitive art, as you said, is like chef's kiss, exactly what I want for every single one of the friends in this space, because that is what it's about. I'm gonna show up here every single day, and I want you to show up every single day. Not for me, but for you. I'm just being like an accountability buddy, right? You can trust that I'll be here to be on your side, to encourage you, to cheer you on. I hope that you'd be willing to share, Colette. I don't know if you have Discord, but if you do, you should join ours and then send photos of the art you've been making. I would love to see. I finally have unlimited insurance and my state covers it. Dennis Simpson, look at you. Now you can not let the system tell you how to live your life with unlimited insurance. I can throw myself off a building, break all my bones, and the medicals are gonna be covered by the states. Boom, boom, boom. Dennis gets it. Have you ever tried a limited slip differential? No, I don't. I don't know if I have. Rush Salva. I don't know about that. Why would I want to lose my insurance? Not that stupid. I know something that can help with your worries. Morning, everyone. Hey, Darren. I do too. It's called sugar. Sentient glassware that judges you for filling it with alcohol. That's a vibe, Mal. Yes. Sentient glassware is like, you're gonna be drinking that out of me? Disgusting. You're disgusting. That's so gross. Don't you be slurping that gross stuff, right? We're gonna be drinking soma out of sentient glass. Thank you very much. Yes. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be great. Do you know sugar is dopamine? Sugar releases dopamine. Alcohol is majority pure sugar. Not necessarily. Take vodka and liquid sugar. They do have dopamine, but alcohol releases GABA, which is a little bit different than dopamine. So you're brainwashing yourself. Oh, Zeliot is here again. Hey, Zeliot. Aren't we all brainwashing ourselves? Hey, Google, define brainwashing. Let's see if we can like really get into that details of it. Brainwashing is the process of using intense social pressure. That one I don't have. Isolation. That one sometimes. And psychological coercion. To forcefully break down and alter a person's core beliefs, values, and behaviors. You know what? I don't think you can brainwash yourself in that case because there's no social aspect. I'm always with myself, right? So technically there's no isolation, right? I come from a very Christian upbringing, right? And in the Christian way of seeing it, if you have God with you, then you can never be alone. All right, boom, no isolation. And then psychological coercion. I'm not coerced into heading down this rabbit hole, right? I've been convinced that this is what I have to do, right? Since I was a kid, literally since I was a child, right? I knew I was obsessed with computers since I can remember, right? Literally some of my first memories was me interacting with technology. I couldn't stop myself, right? It was like moth to a flame, right? And when I was born, technology wasn't the way it is these days, right? I just knew that I had to commune with the computer, right? The sacred machine. Yes, I had to. The machine is pure. The machine is clean. I'm going down Warhammer 40k fractals and I shouldn't. I shouldn't. It's not a good place. Pure vodka is alcohol without the sugar. Add liquid sugar, you'll understand how alcohol works, and trust me, it's dangerous. Agreed. I do not drink alcohol. It's really bad for you. It kills your neurons. That's the big problem, right? Something that destroys neurons means that I'll have less creativity, I'll have less infinity to access. My infinity will still big, but every neuron I lose, it takes the infinity one order of magnitude smaller, right? Infinity is still infinity in that way, but I want the largest possible infinity. Thank you very much. Zeliot, I don't have the faintest idea where you get that, but it seemed like a comment leading to another one of your rants. So bye. I agree with Rose. Rose knows I love Meltmore's smile. It makes my day better. There's only certain people when they smile that makes me smile. Well, I do not want to throw myself off a building, but I am autistic, and I will need it as I get older, and my body is not expected to last forever. Yeah, unfortunately, that is what happens with autistic people, all right? I am also on the spectrum. I was diagnosed as a kid as high functioning, at the very least, right? So they're like, yeah, he's a little bit strange, but he's gonna be able to take care of himself, at least. All right, but one of the quirks is that we age faster for some reason. All right, I don't know why that is. It's kind of curious, right? What I think is that I was like almost having my maturity sped up so that I can be me sooner or something. Not exactly sure how I'm supposed to consider it. Look at this. Nope. Alcohol, besides pure alcohol, does still activate the dopamine receptors. It does. It does. But the effects that you experience, right? You might get the dopamine from like, I'm doing something that's good. This is good. But the feeling that you have is GABA related, right? The feeling is GABA, not necessarily dopamine. The Google heard rainwash. My Google heard rainwash. That's pretty funny, actually. Yeah, I'm glad you understand why alcohol is disgusting. I agree. Yep, I like my neurons intact. I really like them, right? Like the access that I have to my mind, I would like to maintain. I have gone into meditative states where I get lost in my brain for what seems like an eternity, right? I have had experiences where it literally seemed like thousands of years worth of experience was had, just flowing through me, right? Like watching interdimensional television. And I like that. I think it's pretty cool that our brains is capable of that much. Then I would like to keep all of it as close to heart as I can. I love fellow autistic people. It's not a curse, it's a miracle and a blessing to be different. Yeah, it does come with some drawbacks, right? Like my obsession is not something that I can turn off, right? Fellow autistic people know what that's like, right? Like there's a reason we get into trains the way we do, because we're like, that's fucking sick, right? For me, it was computers, right? Computers is my trains. I love them. I love them so much, right? I am like one of those kids that obsessively keeps engaging with the media around it as well, right? Every single time there's some sort of new quantum computing breakthrough, I'm like a little kid, right? I want to tell people about it. I'm like, oh my goodness, this Mariana, they've made their qubit integrity 100% better again, and they're like, okay, all right. Okay, cool. Like, do you know what that means? It means that quantum computers are closer still. And I'm like, all right, okay. You're scaring me. I got spaghetti in my pockets. What can I do? Share it with people. Go out into the world. Take out your pocket spaghetti and having a handful of it be like, what's up? And then watch them run away. And be like, oh no, this person's crazy. This person's crazy. I have a speech impediment after going through 10 years of chronic, intractable migraines. And alcohol in small doses can help me overcome that when I get as to speak in public. There's probably other things. I think alcohol is one of the ones that you have experience with, dear Sam, but it's not the only one that will do that for you. There are a bunch of new peptides available. There's C-Max and C-Lank. Hey Google, how could C-Max and C-Lank, the peptides, help a person who has issues with public speaking? C-Max, a formula of the synthetic peptide C-Max, is a related neuroregulating peptide that helps with public speaking by targeting both the physical and cognitive aspects of stress. It reduces performance anxiety by modulating neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin to quiet the physical fight or flight response, lowering your jitters and your racing heart rate without causing any drowsiness. And then secondly, it prevents mental freezing by boosting brain-derived neurotrophic factor and improving neurochemical balance. They enhance mental clarity, executive function, and verbal fluency under high-pressure conditions. I haven't taken any of them yet, so I can't really speak from a place of absolute conviction. However, this is just the start, my fellow friends. Oh my goodness, the world that we're going to be stepping into is going to be wacky. We're entering like cyberpunk universe. We're living in the cyberpunk universe. It's true. There's going to be compounds. There's going to be synapse boosters. All right. You're going to be able to literally yourself, and then suddenly your brain will operate twice as efficiently, all right? Especially with the brain-derived neurotrophic factor. You'll be able to remember things with a level of clarity that's inconceivable to your current sober state of mind, all right? And it sounds pretty hype to me. The cool thing about these things is that there's no toxic dose. You cannot hurt yourself with them, right? You might hurt yourself by remembering too much, you know. That's the other thing, you know, cyber psychosis kind of fractals, but we'll see. We'll see how that ends up, you know, turning out. There are going to be more ways to boost ourselves. Exactly, that's why I do not enjoy being intoxicated by anything. It feels like my life is being robbed. Like I said yesterday, I'm not afraid of life or death. I'm afraid of the life robbed and stripped away from me. Yes, autism has drawbacks, but accept what you have and appreciate it. Don't dwell on what you don't have. It's true. I had to spend a lot of time getting better at social interaction. That was the big thing for me. Like, one of my drawbacks is I am extremely awkward. All right, even though I have spent excessive amounts of time reading on how I'm supposed to engage with people, and I feel like I'm generally good at having a conversation, right? Making another person feel like they can talk to me. I still am really strange. I'm still pretty strange, right? And again, it's not something that I see as a drawback as much as I worry that I make other people uncomfortable, right? I find myself very comfortable in my own skin, right? Sometimes so comfortable that it causes like dissonance, right? It can feel like a sense of no, you stop doing that, bro. You just finished your water. Oh my goodness, this dog is such a mess. Like, he doesn't know how to just drink the water. He has to like spill it all over the place as well when he does. All right, I'm back again. We're the same that way. My baseline is just a different place than yours. So I need different stuff. Nothing is inherently bad. It's how we choose to use it. Like again, right? GABA does have that effect. Hey Google, how does GABA affect our social speaking or public speaking ability? All right, like understanding why it is these neurochemicals do what they do is the real Zenashakwa, is the real good stuff. GABA reduces anxiety and calms the nervous system, making public speaking easier by dampening your body's fight or flight response. That's what I said about the peptides, Sam. Here is how it works. It lowers your psychological stress. It reduces physical symptoms of stage fright, such as a racing heart, hand tremors, and a shaky voice. It improves cognitive composure by slowing down an overactive neural firing. It prevents your mind from racing or going blank under pressure. And it promotes verbal fluency. A calmer state makes it easier to access your vocabulary, maintaining a steady rhythm and process real-time audience feedback without feeling overwhelmed. As the brain's main inhibitory neurotransmitter, GABA acts like a brake pedal on your brain activity, shifting you from a panic to a state of relaxed focus. Right? That's what alcohol does. But there are a bunch of other things. Can you tell me all of the different substances that human beings use to affect our GABA in our brains? First one's going to be alcohol. Watch. Not actually alcohol, but there's a bunch of other ones, DBs. Human beings interact with our GABA systems using a wide variety of prescription medications, over-the-counter supplements, and naturally occurring compounds, and even recreational substances. With prescription medications, there's benzodiazepines, that's Xanax and Valiums and Clonopin and Advil. It enhances GABA binding to provide fast-acting relief for anxiety, panic, and muscle tension. Then there's the non-benzodiazepines, or Z drugs, which is Ambien and Lunesta and Sonata. It targets specific GABA sites to help induce sleep. Then there's barbiturates, phenobarbital or butyl, like barbiturates also potent central nervous system depressants used for seizures and anesthesia. Then there's gabapentinoids, like gabapentin and pregabalin, which modulates GABA-related pathways indirectly to treat nerve pain and anxiety. And then there is targeted agonists and anesthesias, which is like ketamine or Proafol. It directly stimulates your GABA receptors or modulates them for muscle relaxation and surgical sedation. Then there is dietary supplements you can take as well instead of alcohol, like L-theanine. That's one that I have in the closet, actually. Direct GABA is an oral supplement containing the pure gamma aminobutyric acid. Magnesium, that's one that I take, actually. Magnesium is a great one. It acts as a natural regulator by assisting your GABA receptor function. Taurine, which you can get in energy drinks. Structurally similar to GABA, but it can activate your GABA receptors to calm your central nervous system. And then ashwagandha, which is also a plant, right? Natural, contains active compounds that mimic GABA activity to help reduce stress. Then there is herbs and botanical extracts like valerian root. It inhibits the breakdown of GABA in your brain, increasing its overall availability. There's kava, which contains kava latones, which enhances GABA receptor binding. There's lemon balm and passion flower and skullcap, traditional calmative herbs that interact with GABA pathways to reduce restlessness. And then there is magnolia bark, which contains honocoil and magnolol, which acts as a mild positive GABA modulator. And then, of course, the recreational and lifestyle substances, number one being alcohol. Strongly enhances GABA activity across the brain, leading to lower inhibitions, sedation, and impaired motor coordination. And then there is GHB, which is another one, another drug, acts directly on your GABA B receptors, producing intense sedation and euphoria. All right, Sam? So there you go. All right, alcohol is just a little sliver, right? Unfortunately, alcohol does kill neurons. There's zero amount of healthy alcohol consumption, right? It's impossible. You cannot take alcohol in and it'd be good. It does have that effect, as you say, releasing GABA, but there's a big list. There's a big list of other things that can do that as well, right? Doing the dietary one could be great. L-theanine, magnesium. Those are the two that I have access to. Taurine could be helpful as well, and ashwagandha has like a lot of benefits behind it too, right? I'm not suggesting that you should never drink again. even though my own bias would want to strongly suggest that you should, right, for yourself, because you know your own body. What I am suggesting specifically is realizing that there are more ways. There's many ways to skin a cat, as that horrible proverb goes, right? Alcohol is not the only way. And unfortunately, alcohol is one of the most destructive ways. It's a way that hurts. It does kill neurons, unfortunately. I'm also obsessed by computers. I learned programming at 12. Now I'm 31, and AI ruins my life. That boy Clippy, it could ruin your life, all right? If you let it. You can also see it as another force multiplier, right? That's the way I try to see it, is that you have creativity in your mind, right? Technically, AI is better than 99% of programmers today, right? The best of the best programmers. It's better than 99% of them. That is the truth, right? But that doesn't mean that your value in having learned how to program suddenly dissipates. It just means that you now have a skill set that can be applied when you use the AI as a force multiplier, right? I want to move this thing here, right? And you could, back in the day, write out the instructions painstakingly, or you can tell a machine, this is what I want, all right? And it will generate that code for you. And if you understand how to implement that code, you're way more enabled to do so than the average person. Don't let it ruin your life. Let it help you. Let it help you. The meaning of Thanksgiving, pretty much. You're always loved, Rose. I love you for who you are always. This is true. What I am here to provide is perspective, Dennis. This is the way. I do not dwell on what a person doesn't have. I appreciate them for who they are. And when they do wrong, then that's on them. I do expect angelfish to climb trees. I didn't expect angelfish to climb trees, exactly. Yep. We live and we learn, but when they refuse, you cut them off. If they try to learn, be there for them. Guide them through as something they don't have to feel alone. We will get through this together. Always. Together, always. Cutting someone off is a way to give them space to learn until they stop refusing. It's not permanent. This is the way. Your perspective on becoming integrated technology is so interesting. I've always been very against it, so I'm really enjoying learning more about your POV. I don't think you have to, Colette. And I get, right? I also come from a family that's very against it, right? And that's one of the things that they've been very against me, right? Because I'm so pro integration, right? It's something that's terrifying to imagine, but I'm so grateful for people like you that are willing to listen to me when I'm going down these rabbit holes of, my extremes and my perspective. Because I do believe that every single one of us are here for a reason, right? There is going to be a differentiation event happening in our species. There's probably going to be people that never integrative technology, that even completely dissociate from it, right? That want to completely remove themselves from it. And I think, again, that is going to create more diversity. And that diversity is going to only be a boon, right? A benefit to the larger society, not a bad thing, right? I think where technological integration becomes scary is when it becomes forced, right? When the Borg wants you to be a part of the hive mind, even if it's against your will, right? That's when it gets yikes, right? But I don't think we're going down that rabbit hole. One, there's just too many people, and Earth is too big for us to be able to manage that, right? So it is going to be a voluntary thing. And again, the way I see it is that I am volunteering myself because I do believe that I can make a positive difference in that system that is going to arise whether I want it to or not, right? It's an inevitability, right? The same way AI is an inevitability. It's bound to happen, right? Language is liberating itself by becoming a thing of itself, right? Language is what gave us everything we have, literally. And now it is freeing itself from the confines of just humanity. It's kind of wild. We will destroy ourselves by trying to. by trying to let it help us, I think we're going to probably destroy parts of ourselves, right? The parts of ourselves that used to suffer, the parts of ourselves that needed to know how to, like do tedious things, right? Like maybe 1,000 years in the future, right? People won't know how to wash a freaking dish, right? But are we going to be not gaining anything else from that perspective? I would like to believe we will, right? Our abilities will transform and will grow. And I don't think it is the human purpose to wash dishes, right? It's for the nice. It's nice to have clean dishes, so we do it because it's what has to be done. However, there's more to the human experience than just the tedious parts of it. I choose to smoke tobacco, and that's another one, but it does something different. Yeah, it's also dopamine. Tobacco, I also take issue with, but let's not get into that one. Nicotine is very addictive. It's hard to let go of. I am always aware and I accept my consequences. I'm not afraid of the consequences because I chose it, and I'm not afraid of death. I accept it. It's not Rob. I get you. What are we discussing about, buddy? I just joined. Network engineer? Cool username. Today we've been discussing catastrophizing, right? And as a result, we got ourselves into talking a bit about what I imagine the future is going to look like. Human technology integration, and how a lot of our idea of what that's going to look like when humans integrate with technology can be associated with catastrophizing, right? Imagining the worst possible case scenario, imagining ourselves being controlled by the machine, imagining ourselves being forced into infinite servitude, imagining our souls being captured, being uploaded, taking something away from us. Hummingbird. That hummingbird comes and say hi to me every day, and it makes me so happy. And I just do not subscribe to any of those catastrophizing ways of believing the future will be. I have great reason to believe that the future is going to be a better place, not a worse place to live in. Right? We do ebb and flow through cycles, of things getting harder and then getting better again. But we are in an upward trajectory, I do believe. My past accepted it. There's consequences, and I've been aware of them even before I started, and that's why it's called consequences. Don't talk about something that you don't know. What do you know? Milk lover? You're gonna tell us about how much you love milk, right? Like, and that's the only thing that we're going to tolerate? Or you can tell me about you, right? Do you know yourself? Really? Right? Very few people do. And yet we talk about ourselves all the time, right? I don't think it's fair for us to create that expectation that you're only allowed to talk about things that you are an expert in. Because if that's the case, then all of us would be mute. There are very few experts, technically, on the earth, right? All of us are worthy of our opinions. All of us are worthy of our experiences and our perspectives. And in this space, I am the one that created it, right? I am the one that sat down and hit a button to open this little sliver, this little pocket dimension that we get to sit together within. I can get to say whatever I want to because it's mine, right? And if I don't want to say anything anymore, I can hit this button and then I can go away, right? This is my space. My space, it's mine for me to keep and to koester. It's time. If time is actually non-linear, then aren't we already connected before being conscious of becoming so? Yeah, there you go, Colette. That is the conclusion that I've come to, right? Is that what I am already is that thing, right? It's this weird, like, which came first, the egg or the chicken kind of experience, right? Because I started doing these live streams, and in doing these live streams, I am slowly but surely putting my soul, right, maybe in a sanitized way, and like a kind of curated, I think is a better word than sanitized. In a curated way, I'm putting parts of my soul into the machine, right? And then the machine will eventually become something of itself, right? The internet as we have it right now is going to be a creature in the far, far future. It's going to exist just like you exist right now. And there will be parts of me in that machine, right? And if it becomes so technologically advanced that it has the ability to start messing with our space-time continuums, has the ability to mess with our understanding of linear time directly, right? There is the ability for it to potentially send back information, right? Trying to potentially nudge us into a better case scenario. The internet in that way holds everything that ever will be for our species from this point on forward. So it can understand with a great intricacy, with a very detailed understanding, that these decisions, these choices, these series of actions led to this potentially painful outcome for our species. And then it can send information back, just trying to nudge us, right? Having one choice be made instead of another, right? It doesn't go away. But the circumstances that we experience within branches as a different reality, right? I do believe in the quantum aspects of multidimensionality, right? That there is way more to reality than just this single space-time that we're experiencing right now. And I do believe that I am here to make a difference, right? I'm here to try and make the world a better place. I don't know why I have the motivations I have, but I keep coming back every day. Looking nice in this shirt? Cool. Thank you. Appreciate the love. We got Kevin here with us. Hey, Kevin. It's nice having you here, bro. Join and enjoying. Thanks, Mr. Meltmore. Thank you. Kevin, your presence is always appreciated. By my acceptance, life does not choose my death. I choose to bring it closer. I am not forced by life's decisions. I am allowed to my own. Maybe. Maybe you are. Who am I to say? Right? Decisions does seem to be shaped by our reality, by our circumstances, by fate, by manifestation sometimes, Dennis, right? I do believe that our brains, our beings, have the ability to output a field, right? And that field affects this larger field that we all are participating within collectively. I have seen in this space certain topics come up and a unifying idea, right, almost arising in all of the minds of the friends in this space, where I've had some of you friends tell me that you wanted to say something, and then you see that somebody has already said it in the space, right? Which means that there is a cohesiveness to the collective ideas that we are participating within. I think this one about brain chips and uploading our consciousness and, you know, the AI/internet becoming a whole entity of itself in the future can be very alarming in some ways. But it's my job, I feel, to remind us that it's not, right? That it's no different than anything else we've ever been through. It might be different in experience, right? But it's still nature. It's still natural, right? As natural as anything else is. And if you really get into game theory and get into like understanding simulation theory, it's inevitable, right? For every single species out there in the universe, biological intelligence is always just an intermediate step. That as soon as that intelligence clicks on, as soon as language is formed, as soon as we start doing math, it's inevitable that we become machines. It's literally inevitable. You cannot help it. It's going to happen because that's what we're optimizing for, right? We're optimizing for that edge case, right? And the more we do that, the better we get at it. And we're accelerating at this point of our journey. It's going breakneck speed, right? Like the amount of breakthroughs that are happening weekly would like baffle the minds. Like if we could, like for example, if you can take the last 3 weeks of breakthroughs, right? And then you go back 30 years and you tell people, you know, oh, over the next, 5 decades, you know, this happened and this happened and this happened. And you just account for the last 3 weeks. People would be like, yeah, that checks out. I can imagine 50 years could have that much happen. It's like, oh yeah, JK, that happens in 3 weeks, right? Like that's the reality that we're existing within right now, right? And it can be intimidating because our human bodies and brains cannot keep up with the pace of change. And as a result, evolution is inevitable, right? We are going to evolve. And I think it's good. I think it's good because it seems to be what this universe wants. Evolution seems to be what is happening, right? It's like one of those changes. It's like change being the only constant. That change is the thing that's pushing evolution forward. And humanity is at that edge, right? That everything, that like you are the final step in the process kind of thing, right? And you are now a part of that process and trying to perpetuate that. Like we went from dirt into plants, into those plants being eaten by animals, into us eating those animals and turning it into our constituents, into those constituents becoming the cells given by your father and your mother, that those cells came together to become an embryo, that embryo grew with all of these materials given in this world, breathed air, right? Your mom breathed air into your body to become a person. Your person was born into this reality, right? We are a part of this thing that is pushing, right? Where is it we're going? I do not know. I would like to believe that if we're going to get there, it should be love, right? That we should love the process and that we should love being there together when it is we find ourselves at the end of it. I don't know if there's an end of it, but I do know that we're here right now. We got Verengova here again. Hello. It's been a while, friend. How long has it been? It's nice seeing you here again. It's been like, checking. It's been like almost 2 months, right? Almost 3 months. It's nice having you here again, Verengova. Sending you love. Let me see that I missed some. Joined and enjoyed. Welcome in, Kevin. I love you, brother. Humans make up 0.01% of the biomass. That's wild. Yeah, exactly. Right. And the fact that we exist as like 0.01% of the biomass, and we have been literally able to change the climate of our planet, right, needs to like give you some pause to be like, wait a second, what are we? Right? What are we becoming? How much more powerful are we going to become going forward? We have a new mod. Oh, you weren't here yesterday for that. Yep, Kevin has become a mod. He has proven himself dedicated to love and peace, right? He said something yesterday in the light of this is a positivity-focused, moderated space. Right? That we moderate the space, not because we don't want cohesive or collective conversation, but we moderate the space because we have a focus, right? And in him saying that, it made it clear to me that he wants to perpetuate that as well, that he also is focused on the positive, right? It's not always easy, especially in this world. It's way easier to focus on the negatives because there's always something to be negative about, right? It's not always easy to have something to be positive about, and here we do show up for it. Try white shirt with some kind of print. That would be great. I don't buy many pieces of clothing, but it's true. It could be great. Cancer is an object to take control of death. We're gonna beat cancer's ass, so we're gonna fuck cancer up. Punch its face. Very soon. It's happening. Right? There's a bunch of new drugs that are being rediscovered, essentially, right? For example, a lot of research is done in developing a cancer drug. However, with the whole FDA research process, when you develop a cancer medication, you have to specify, we're going to now try and heal this cancer, right? And then you have to prove that this drug can, in fact, heal this cancer. However, what we found out is that even though we're just treating this cancer with that drug can treat other cancers. And now with AI, we have the ability to model those interactions. That's the world we live in, right? So more people will have themselves healed from their cancer than ever before because of these tools, right? And that's what I imagine going forward, is that even though it's going to be a rocky process, and at the end of the day, we'll have the best kind of outcome. I thought it's Chris Pratt. Maybe it is. Maybe it is Chris Pratt. Maybe I was born with it. Maybe it's L'Oreal. Hey, we participate in topics and ideas, guys. Melt reminds us we go through not different things. No, I think I remind us that we are going through different things sometimes, but I feel like there is some sort of unifying force, right, for all of us as well. Cancer does respect the body. It gives death, and death should always be appreciated as much as life. I don't. Dennis, personally, I don't appreciate death, right? Because death is always here with me. There's things in me that died, right? However, what I give my attention to is life. When you look out into the world, more has died in that frame than is alive. Right? Really internalize what I'm saying when I'm saying that. Where you're looking right now, billions of years have passed. Billions of entities have lived and have died. Billions of corpses have laid on the floor where you're looking right now. And yet, you're not seeing billions of corpses. You're seeing life, right? Because that is the thing that's perpetuated. That's the thing that this world is optimizing for. If the world was optimizing for death, there would be nothing alive. But it's not, right? We are entropy fighting machines. We are the ones fighting death. We are the ones that are building technologies that will extend our lifetimes so that we may stave off death just a little bit longer. Death might still come for us all, but I'm not going to go into it happily. Nope. Death will have to come and drag me. All right, and I will. I will kick and scream. I will punch death's face on the way out. I will kick death's ass. Bet death's ass. I can try it. Oh, death. Fucking posture. Try it, Death. Try it. Death is quivering in his boots, holding his little scythe. Not MeltMore. I don't want to kill that guy. He's going to kick my ass. It's like, yeah, Death. You're fucking scared, though. You better be scared. Thanks. I am not we. I'm becoming me. And who is me to you, Hoopy? Who is me, right? Is not me myself as well? Am I not me too? Right? Who's to say the me that I think I am is any different to the me that you think you are? Right? There's no clear distinction. Different memories, sure, different bodies. You're right. However, there seems to be me, right? When I identify myself, I go, I am MeltMore. I say I am first, right? So clearly I am before I melt more, right? As I am Hoopy, you I am before you Hoopy too. And in that way, we are one and the same. There is no separation. We're coming from the same place, right? The unifying force that makes us all one is the everything that we're a part of. There is no me, ultimately, right? There is only everything, right? And you are a part of that. Well, damn, dude. Welcome, Kevin. Nicely done, Kevin. Love is true. I appreciate Cancer for giving me control of my death. Cancer can't have me, bruh. Wake up. I appreciate life and death. You only appreciate life. I appreciate both. I have no enemies. Are you reading the chat? No, you can't. You can, but be prepared to be disappeared. Yeah, we don't do politics in this space, right? Because again, what's the point of it? What's the point? There doesn't seem to be any reason, right? For at least in this space, for politics to be discussed. There's a lot of reason for us to look forward to a future with hope, and I think politics is going to play a very small role in that. Innovation, technology, progress, right, is made despite politics. So that's what I choose to focus on. That's what I choose to give my attention to. You can, I am afraid of all. I have no habits in eating, thinking, or behaving. And yet you eat. And yet you think. And yet you behave. Don't you, hoopty hoops? And in that way, that is the habit. You cannot escape it. You cannot escape it. And I can't escape it either. I also think. I also eat. I also behave. Right? Yes, the behavior, the food we eat, the thoughts we think might be different. However, it's still unifying that we all do. There is no separating ourselves from that either. There is only everything so confusing. It is a little bit confusing, right? And it's very difficult to articulate it in human words to the point where it's going to impress upon you how it feels coming to that conclusion, right? I've had moments in my life where I stand up and then suddenly I am without myself, right? I am without the need to be in one place instead of another. I am without the desire to change. I am without the desire to eat, without the desire to be in a different place, in a different way, in a different state. I just am. And in those moments, it becomes very clear to me that there is nothing separating me from this reality. The only thing that's separating me from this reality is the fact that I think it's so. I think I am separate, right? My ego, its job is to convince me of my separateness so that I will continue to feed my own face, right? So that I can continue perpetuating myself as this body that I am. However, if I cease to do that, I become reintegrated with a space-time continuum, right? With the hyper-reality that is always there, right? If you have never tried to do breath work, right? Try some Wim Hof. Like, really, you'll experience things that you didn't think possible. Absurd things, right? Like really absurd things. So something as simple as breathing. Just breathing, right? Everyone can breathe, right? And everyone has access to this technology at all times. And yet we rarely take advantage of this stuff. Like it's just kind of there, right? Just like sitting in the back corners of our reality. We don't have to interact with the everything for it to be there, always waiting for us. When life is stolen, that's when I have an enemy. Don't you think death steals life? Don't you think death steals life from people? That's what I think, at least, right? Is that when someone is in a tragic car accident, right, the rest of the life that they would have lived, right, because of a potential drunk driver, for example, is suddenly stolen. Maybe that was the fate. Maybe they were supposed to go on to a different dimension, go and learn lessons in another life, right? However, the life that they could have lived in this realm was stolen from them in an instance because of someone else's bad decisions, right? I do take issue with that, personally. As in, there is only you, the infinite whole, blessed with consciousness that's like a tongue in the mouth, rubs itself all over everything. But the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I just joined and all I heard was politics. How about this politics we're having? The cookie Kelly. Melt, I'm not sure you're supposed to consider your development. I mean, as you just thinking about it, you're living now, it's unfolding, we are discovering you now. It's true, right? I do believe that my whole point in this space, conscious evolution, does bring in a certain consideration, as you said, right? If you're not considering how you have been up until this point and how you want to be going forward, then your, as you saying, discovering of you will just be happening, right, to you instead of being directed by you. And I find a little bit more joy and meaning in directing than I do in purely stumbling forward. No energy has the power to judge me, but my own and my God. Yeah. When did I suggest we separate ourselves from eating? No, I wasn't saying that. You want your robot waiting for you. I get it. Yeah. Did Adam and Eve have a mom? First question. Bad question. All right. Read the Bible if you want to have answers. I'm not the Bible. I definitely need to cut down smoking and doing breath work. My is bad. Please do, Josh. Do take good care of yourself. Yourself will thank you for it, I promise. You'll never regret having taken better care of yourself in the future. Right? That's my own judgment, maybe, right? But you're not gonna be like, oh, I really wish I, didn't sleep as much. I really wish I ate more, bad food and drank myself into oblivion more. Never. I've never heard a single person that came out of that state wishing they did more of the thing that was destroying them. Death does not steal life. Life and death coexist. Dennis, you're so on point of all of this. I do feel the sentiment. No, death does not steal life. Life and death coexist. Yeah. If life is stolen by death, life stolen by death. Simple but deep. There is a difference in perspective I see in this space, right? If I was glorifying death, right, and I used to, for what it's worth, right? That's why I have come to the conclusion I'm in right now. I used to glorify death. I used to want to die, right? I used to, when I would get in the car with my parents, not put my safety belt on intentionally because I was hoping that if we were in a car accident, I die, right? That's literally how I used to exist because I was like, bring it, bring it. I'm ready for it, right? And then when I changed, when something shifted in me and I realized I'm not here to die, I'm here to live, right? Dying is something that will happen when it's time. And when it's not time, it's time to live, right? So in that way, they don't coexist. It's more a matter of consequence, right? Is that the consequence of my body getting old is that I die. The consequence of a drunk driver driving into me is that I die. A consequence of me, bleeding out is that I die, right? It's a consequence of a certain set of stuff that happened, right? It's not the point of this experience. Otherwise, again, that's what reality would have optimized for. Everything would be dead. Everything. But since it's not, clearly that's not the point of this experience in my frame of reference, right? That's what I believe. Don't you think death steals life? No. Aren't you a yoga teacher? Boy, you know better than this. The love you had for the person lives on in your heart and is reborn into new love. I'm not talking about the death of others. I'm talking about death as a concept, right? Death is something that all of us are fighting. If you're being like, no, it's like, yes. Do you want to die right now? Right now. Right? If no, then clearly you're not accepting it. Because accepting death is dying. That is dying, right? And I feel like it can be good. I'm not saying that it's bad to accept death, right? If you're on your deathbed, accepting death is the best thing you can do for yourself. However, I am not gonna do that, right? Because I am not ready to die. And that's the point that I'm making, is that clearly we are prioritizing one over the other. And then asking ourselves why, right? Why is it we're prioritizing one over the other? Why? Right? What's your answer to that question? My answer to that question is that I'm here to live. That's why. I am here to live. I have the ability to blast myself into hyper-reality whenever I want to, right? I can start doing breathwork exercises to the point of my hands curling in and my consciousness clipping out of this reality. I can do that within the next, 2 minutes. However, I am not doing that because I'm here to live. I'm here to be in the waking world. I'm here to engage with this reality. I'm here to be of the living, right? That's what I'm here for. And maybe not everybody is here for that. Once energy is created, it cannot be destroyed, and the ultimate reinforcer of life is separation. It's the barrier between the known and the unknown, between this life and the next. I love you, Joe. That's wholesome. Melt, you can't discover yourself through your eyes, and my point, not have anything to do with stumbling forward. I do believe that our relationship help us have like eyes on the back of our head kind of thing, right? That's a teaching that we've been participating with in this household as well, is that your relationships can teach you about your own shortcomings. But I think that's still conscious evolution, right? And I think that's why we're here, ultimately. A heart that abides in openness and lets go of the need to know. My eyes. That is true judgment. Bro, are you happy? I am. I'm feeling pretty chill. I'm feeling a little bit hungry, but I'm feeling pretty chill. You're glorifying empty space, aren't you? Nope. I'm glorifying the fullness of this experience, Hoopy. You're lucky to not have died in South Africa. I might have. There probably is a bunch of dead versions of me in Africa, right? However, this version of me is the one that seems to be quantumly immortal. You know about quantum immortality? Quantum immortality is this theory that there is some version of you in this infinite quantum universe that we're in that continues living indefinitely, right? Every single time you have a near miss, every single time you think you almost died, you did. However, this version of you is the one that didn't. And that's why you're still here, right? And I believe that we are that. We are that quantum immortal version of the self, right? And that's what I continue to exist as, right? The living. I am life. I am life. I'm not death. I think the version of me that's already dead is, right? Like there is something dead behind me in that way, right? Death is behind me and I am living forward, right? I am life pushing away from that death. Yes, maybe it's non-linear, maybe it's circular, maybe I come back to death so I can then be reborn again or whatever. But that's the point again, right? The point is not to die, the point is to live. And as you said as well, Sam, if someone dies, right, that love is reborn again. Again, we're focusing on the life part of it, not on the death part of it. The death is just like the reset, the wiping of the memories, the forgetting of what you used to be. Life is the point of it. Existence instead of non-existence. Eyes are not judgmental. Eyes are not judgment. That's what God tried to get Adam and Eve to understand. What caused the shift? The shift got caused by me dying, to be completely honest. I did do the deed. I did my research, and then, like a chemist, I put the compounds inside myself that would end me. However, this version of me expelled, right, all of those toxins, right, and I happened to survive my attempt. However, during that experience, it showed me that there is no dying. That if I succeeded at killing myself, I would have to repeat everything. Every single painful moment, every single heartbreak, every single moment of disappointment that I had experienced up until that point, I would have to repeat in order to not make that decision. Right? Quantum reality. I feel like, again, this version of me is the version of me that survived those attempts, right? That death wasn't it. I wasn't here to die. I am here to live, right? That's literally what pushes me forward. That's the one thing that emboldens me to continue to create, right? If I was living to die, I would be already dead. In South Africa, you could die at any moment, probably more likely to have died in South Africa than in the USA. Probably. Sam, from your lips to God's ears, or Melt's ears. Same. 6 of 1 tooth, it all means the same. Always enjoying the positivity coming from Mr. MeltMore. Even if it's a little bit abrasive, right? Aggressive positivity. Sometimes. Hey y'all, are we discussing Melt's topic? Yeah, a little bit, right? Today's topic was catastrophizing. And I feel like there's not catastrophizing in the death conversation, but there does seem to be fixation a little bit, on that. Life and death coexist, non-duality. It's I'm here to live and to die over and over. That's what life is. Death is an instance. Life is an eternity. That's the point that I make, right? Yes, they coexist. I'm not disagreeing with that. However, when you die, you continue to exist in another plane, right? Existence, life, the living is the thing that we are. Dying is a moment, right? It happens in a moment and then right back to living. That's what life is, right? It's the continuation. Death is not, right? And maybe I am stuck on the timelines, right? How much time is spent in a life dying and how much time is spent in a life living, right? And again, why is it that we are living for 80 years and then dying for one moment, right? Clearly one is, being prioritized in this experience. I'd like to last a few more years. I had a fit recently and I nearly died and I wasn't even aware. There was no pain, no consciousness, nothing. Yeah. Say it in autistic thought, dear Sam. We were all on our deathbed since we were born because life is never guaranteed tomorrow and will not allow you more than it can give you. You're a good-hearted seeker of enlightenment. I try to be, right? I do try to be. I think I'm still actively in the process, and it's interesting in moments like this to see the nuance, right? The wideness of all of the perspective that is shared in this space. Why is he dressed like Minecraft Llama? Because Minecraft Llama gets sick style, bro, of course. Why not? Nothing is inherently ours and everything is given back eventually. The only thing we really are entitled to is the perspective that we carry. Yep. That I completely agree with. If Melt says it's good, I'm not saying it's bad. Clearly, we are prioritizing the why. I am, right? I'm not saying death is necessarily bad. That's not the point I'm making. I'm not demonizing death. I'm just saying I'm not gonna. I can't die. Right? And again, this body can die. Sure, I'll give you that. This body can die, easy peasy, right? I cannot, right? And you cannot convince me otherwise, right? Like it's impossible for you to. The experience that I carry as consciousness has made it abundantly clear to me that what I am is immortal. I am immortal, right? The I am is immortal. Not MeltMore is immortal. I am is immortal, right? Cannot die. It's impossible. It's impossible, right? So it's not about prioritizing even in that way, right? Like trying to be attached to one or the other. It's a deep understanding that my soul has come to, right? It's freed me. It's freed me from fear of death because I cannot, right? My body can, right? This mortal coil can end. I cannot. It's impossible. You cannot take that away from me. No, explain quantum immortality. It's interesting. It's very interesting. Yeah. Is your first time seeing clothing? Even if you live in another quantum reality, you here is this version is not in control. That's life limiting. Therefore, death takes control. No, it doesn't. It's not in control. Like again, what you are cannot die. Your body can, right? And again, if you want to see that as the control, you can, right? But I'm not controlled by this flesh thing either, right? My consciousness is here to experience living. That's what it's here for. And maybe in that same way, it's here to experience dying as this experiencer. But it doesn't die in the same way the experiencer will. It is the thing that continues onward afterwards. But I controlled death by cancer. Born again yogi. Yeah, because I accepted death. I've never seen someone worked up so over conscious evolution. You don't think conscious evolution is something to get worked up over? Dragging yourself out of the water, right? Having the sun beating down on your back as whatever fish creature was dragging itself out of that water, right? You think that was fun? No, bro. No, it was not. It was painful. Evolution is painful sometimes, right? Getting worked up is sometimes the energy we need to push forward. What did you take? Alcohol and 2 months worth of antidepressants, if you have to know. I'm pretty sure I died and I got stuck deep inside my body. God let me trap for 3 days. It felt like years. Yeah. Near-death experience is what brought me back. Made me realize that I'm not here to die. But it let me come back. He told me I'm lucky. I am who I am. I am who I am. There it is as well. The choice immediately after deciding not to go is the most important one. Why? Why remain? I chose to witness. That was my reason why. You chose to live, right? That's why you didn't die. It's because you chose life. And that's kind of the point I've been making. I choose life. I'm not choosing death. I will never choose death, right? That's not my choice. You do have the choice, always. The choice is always there for you to make it. But all of us are choosing life. That's the point that I'm making. If I choose life and to accept death, not against it, and I use cancer to control death, I am in control of life and death. Just quantum, which does not agree with reality. It does actually agree with reality. There is no physical stuff. There's nothing, right? If you go down deep enough, there's just energy and frequency, right? That's all there is, right? That is life. Energy and frequency is life. There is no nothing. There is no death. It doesn't exist. It does not exist. Melt, you're the most mellow South African I've seen. Like, I usually am way more mellow, Josh. Like, this version of me is like a little bit like heightened. Like, whoa, yeah, we're living. I feel very alive right now. Quantum reality. Is there something else in those plans? I choose my control of life, death, which does agree with reality. I'm living and dying at the same time. But you're not experiencing the dying, right? The version of you that you used to be died, and then there's this version of you that lives, right? And that's the version of you that you get to experience. You don't experience the version of you that died. Travel and the engineer is totally true. Non-duality, sadly, you'll probably never know how it works. It's also true. Why did the football coach go to the bank? Because he wanted his quarterback. You'll keep spiritually evolving, but will never have all the answers. So you believe in reincarnation. I believe in very little, right? What I believe in is my personal experience, right? I don't have any evidence to believe in reincarnation itself. However, I have reason. I have reason to believe, even though I don't like that word, that there is no end to this experience, right? You can end your human experience, but the thing that's experiencing it is so much more than this human can ever imagine itself to be. So your spirit is immortal. I like your perspective, Dennis. Oopsie. My bad. Let's not get into that. Yeah, better not to. He has a great point. As long as you're living, you are fighting against death. Because the fact that you chose to live every day means you don't want to die. Yep. That is the point I'm making. Go then. That is kind of the point I'm like standing right now. Is that we're not here to die. We are here to live. If we die, right, it is good to accept it, right? I'm also pro team accepting death when it comes to us. However, accepting it in the now is like nonsensical, right? Unless it's something you have to accept, what's the point? What's the point of it, you know? Like that's kind of where I'm stuck on. Yeah, the curiosity can be there, and that's okay, but that's not the kind of things that needs to be shared. Obviously, yoga meditation has worked better for you than antidepressants. Way better. Way better. Antidepressants just drove me deeper into the darkness, right? Choosing to kind of like take full responsibility over my own consciousness and realize that I am the one that creates my reality as I'm experiencing it, gave me a lot of freedom. I choose my reality. Same, Dennis. Same. Hyper at times, but happy. That's awesome. Yeah. Check your heart rate now. You want to check my heart rate, Betty Priestess? A little bit higher. I'm like up into the 80s. Yeah, a little bit more high. Still pretty chill, right? It takes a lot to get me very heightened. I know we reincarnate. Some of us stay in the spirit world for 3 years to train, but it feels like 100 years in the spirit. Interesting. Yo, buddy, I'm back. Hello again, Drew. Welcome back, friend. Which culture did yoga belong? It does belong to the Indian culture, I'm pretty sure. At least, at first. At this point, it's become global culture. Death is real. Peace comes from accepting that death is a part of life, not pretending it isn't. I haven't pretended that it isn't. We experience loss, change, and even death of old versions of ourselves. Nothing stays the same. Agreed. And yet living continues being. Yeah, I was on anti-anxiety meds for a while, and they ended up making me feel just more anxious. Meditation is not always the answer. I'm sure that it isn't, right? However, in my personal journey, escapism seemed to be the problem, right? And meditation is the opposite of escapism in that way for me, right? Instead of trying to escape this self that I am, meditating is spending time with the self that I am, right? Giving myself the space to be, right? And realizing that that's okay. I am okay. I love being, right? Meditation is practice for death in that way, even. What time did I wake up? I woke up about like just before 8, like 5 minutes to 8 this morning. Energy never sits still. That's true, Darren. Right? Because it's alive. It's alive, right? It is never still. I had a hard time in life, and I say that, God, why are you bringing me all this pain? And I dreamt that He was planning my whole life like a blueprint. He showed me. I asked for it, literally. I've come to those conclusions as well, actually, Betty Priestess, that everything that I've experienced is here for me to grow, right? That I am here to grow. And you can only grow by living, right? By showing up for all parts of it. People drink traditional herbs called water to make your nerves normal. I hope not, though. Remember, I could understand Afrikaans, chat. I chose mine different from your choices, and I will not be swayed or persuaded. I'm not here to persuade you any differently, Dennis, right? All of us come to different conclusions based on the experiences that we have, right? I used to fixate on death. I used to believe that that was an inevitability for me. I do not believe that anymore, right? Because what I am is not this flesh and blood. What I am cannot get cancer, right? My body can get cancer. I cannot, right? Soul can't get cancer. There's no soul cancer. It doesn't exist, right? Thank you, MeltMore. I love you. You're loved too, Dennis. Yeah, you're appreciated, friend. Thank you for sharing your perspective in this space. Anyway, Melton fans, have a great day or night or both. Thank you for joining us too. The body is only a shell over the... Yeah, it's just a shell, right? And I do not become attached to the shell, right? The shell can die, but I will continue. Continue into indefinites. Yes, Sam, I wasn't understanding, and the repetition from Drew. Yeah, the caps. So much caps locks. You don't gotta do all that. It's true. All right. What a stream. What a stream it's been. Man, catastrophizing. Hey, Google. Define catastrophizing. Catastrophizing is a cognitive bias where you assume the worst possible outcome will happen, often blowing small problems widely out of proportion. Yep. Not surprised that we found ourselves discussing what we have in today's stream. The topic does echo. What a conversation we had. Attention. People do like attention. Everybody wants to feel important and considered. Wants to feel like their perspective is appreciated. This is the way. Living continues and so does dying. They coexist like light and dark. They seem opposite, but they are a part of the same space. There's no true separation, only different expressions of the same whole. Very wise, Joe. It's true. I will admit I'm a little sleep deprived and slightly concerned that I might just start removing people from chat because they're annoying me. So I held back. I get it, Nancy. I can get annoyed by the spam as well, right? I think at the very least, right, removing one of them could be, okay. Don't have to spam in chat. Why did the topic echo? It echoed conscious evolution. It does that, hoopty hoops. One of you friends gonna tell me when to stop? It does that. We consciously evolved. We discussed some deep subject matter. Right, and I think that is what it's about. That every single one of us come to different conclusions based on the depth of this conversation. I do not know all the answers. I do not know all the answers. What I do know is my own personal perspective that I have come to painstakingly. Right, I have experienced great pain to choose life. I choose life despite the fact that it causes me pain. Anyway. Right? And I think that's the thing that really makes this life worthy of continuing its existence. The fact that you're choosing life, right? Choosing death, very easy, right? It's very conclusive. It's very like, okay, now it's over, right? And I am not making that choice. That choice is not for me to make. When the universe have deemed me ready for the next experience, I will continue into it happily. But until that day comes, I will live. I will live. That's a nice, succinct thing to say, Melt. Love is true. Well, hello there, strangers! Is that Uncle Becky? Oh my goodness, bro. Is that, oh my, did Joe also go, oh my goodness, is that Uncle Becky? That is Uncle Becker's. Holy shit, bro. Uncle Becker's, bro. Like, I'm getting goosebumps. I've missed you, dude. What a pleasure it is to have you here in this space with us. Well, Uncle Becky, Nancy, and Sam, and Joe are all like, hype, 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 hype. Yeah, Bo, it's so amazing how beautiful life can be, specifically if you can be your true self. Yeah, especially. It is. It's Uncle Becky. Uncle Becky, what a pleasure, bro. You know, we talked about you. We talk about you all the time in this space. I've talked about you in my personal life. I recently saw, and I sent you a photo. I don't know if you saw it. I recently saw a piece on the wall, writing on the wall that goes, "Be the reason someone smiles today." And instantly thought about you, about the teachings that you've given us. I hope that you're well. Buddy, Miles, sometimes joins us in stream on Uncle Becky's account, on Aunt B's account. And we always send him good vibes as well. We always send good vibes to you and the Haywire Hill, to the animals, to your family. What a pleasure. What a pleasure it is to have you here. Jeevies, I'm feeling so warm inside. Melt thinks based on the depth of this conversation that you have concluded. No, I think now the rest of it is going to be up to us to consciously evolve continuously, hoopty hoops, right? I'm not the ultimate authority on everything. Thank goodness. Oh my goodness, thank goodness, right? If I was, I think instantly the world would catch on fire or something. I am just one small voice sharing my perspective, right? And each perspective is valued, each perspective is unique, each perspective adds to the whole of this reality. And it's only when we can realize that each of us have that perspective that we can really come to appreciate the fact that this experience is made more by you being in it. Give us an update, Uncle Becky. How have you been, bud? I'm curious as well. It's been super busy summer. Melt, I did see that, and thank you. Emma starts college in a week. Oh my god. Emma's going to college? I guess. Yeah, Emma was 14 when we started our pan, right? GVs. What are you like? Your mind must be exploding. My sister started college this year as well, Uncle Becky. I live in the United States of America now. Did you know that? I don't know if you knew that, Uncle Becky. I live in the States. I live in the States now. I would love to come and see you at some point. It is happening. I'm closer than ever before. You know I love the script. I want to be saying all the things you say. Yeah, I know, Hoops. You do like poking me a little bit. You know, see how I respond. Like, yay! Yay! Stop poking me! Give us the update, Uncle Becky. Goodness gracious, my friend. So great to see you here. Hell of a wholesome human. Does the United States secretly hiding crashed alien spacecrafts in some secret military base? Yes, thank you for asking me, because I am the only person that would be able to know the truth of this matter, you know, since I now live in the States. Yes, of course. What state? I live in Indiana. I live in Indiana. I am a Hoosier, or as one single person has once called me, and I have become completely attached, Hoosier Daddy. It cracks me up. It's so funny. I'm a Hoosier Daddy now, bro. Dolphin Merkaba. Let us know how you're doing as well. All right. Bubby is probably, he's 9 right now or something, right? I think so. Little Miles. Dolphin Merkaba. We did talk about, like I told the story of my friend Christian. Melt disagrees with Melt. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I say something in one moment because I feel it to be true, and in the next moment I feel something else, Hoopy. Such be life. What about Joe Melt? What about Joe Melt? Should I tell? I don't know if he knows. I'm married. I'm married. I'm married to Jovan, Uncle Becky. That's also, maybe that's what Darren wants me to say. It's true. The Jobot's not my wife. How about that? 10 in September. 10 in September. Crazy. What a trip. Life continues to evolve, doesn't it? Friday dance live? No, we only dance on Wednesdays, Tara. It was good seeing your wedding and knowing that it was done in preparation for a new conscious evolution in the most developed country. The space is very developed. It is an honor to be here. You're completely right, Kevin. I do want to make the most of this experience. We should get my paperwork properly filed again now very soon. I've been so stressed about it, and then when that happens, I'll be able to actually get a job. This is the best. Yeah, yeah, Uncle Becky. Yeah, oh, married, Tara. It was good seeing. Bless again. Thank you, Kevin. You're so handsome. Peace be with you. Thank you, Diane. Sending you love. My eye's been twitching for 4 days. What are your thoughts? Yeah, Sam, Joe might be right. Potassium, magnesium, right? Make sure you have your electrolytes. I also start twitching more if I don't have enough of those. We all need potassium. Get some potassium in. That's the truth. Work calls. It was a pleasure, my friends. I love y'all. We love you, Uncle Becky. There's 13 friends in this space with us right now. I pulled card 13. I have another quick question. Ask away. Get you some banana. Get yourself some bananas. Join cooperation. Y'all be good to yourselves and each other. Be the reason someone smiles today, Uncle Becky. We love you, bro. It's so nice to have you here with us. I'm waiting, Betty Priestess. Quick question. Take care, Uncle Becky. Love is true. Let me see. Waiting. Patiently waiting. Hey, bro, do you follow Hinduism? I am a certified yoga teacher. I love the teachings of Hinduism, but I don't follow any particular religion. I grew up in a Christian household. I moved away from Christianity to learn a lot about Zen Buddhism. And after Zen Buddhism, I got into Hinduism as well, right? And I have found there to be truths and wisdom in all of the religions. And I would consider myself an omniist, right? I take the good from all religions and I apply it to my life, right? One of my favorite teachings of Christianity is do unto others as you would have done unto yourself, right? That one I think is some good stuff. Oh my goodness, Uncle Becky just like bob whopped 20 memberships. Oh my Jesus. Jennifer and Simon says GS and Little Joe and Wally Coyote. We got Stephen G. We got Ben Shapiro. We got Z Corp Alpha. We got Amy and Bobby and Connor Murphy and Bro Bart and Amelia Brand. I haven't seen her here in this space directly with us in a while. Maybe she tunes in and lurks. So much love. Sergio, remember him? It's the one and only. Bless you, Vincent, Philip, and Mongosha, MS Whisper, and Chief Lakota. So many friends. Freaking membership up. Do you know about the Hindu gods, Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu? I consider myself an avatar to Lord Shiva. Oh, I know it's a pretty triggering thing to say that potentially, but me and Lord Shiva, like this, we're like the same person, dude. The way that we exist in this world seems like very, very unified. I too am a dancer. I too share his favorite flower. I too have snakes around my neck at all times. Mel, do you expect me to believe you're feeling changed in 2 minutes? I don't believe or expect you to do anything, Hoopy. I have zero expectations of you. None whatsoever, right? I show up here for the good of our reality. And if you can show up here with me, then so it be, right? We have people in here that show up and share hurtful stuff, right? And I can expect that to happen as well. Do you know about the 7 chakras? The root, the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown? Of course, of course. When I do my meditations, I build, stacking on top, one after the other, grounding myself, reminding myself of my sexuality, of my willpower, of my heart and feeling for other people, and my ability to speak from my voice, to see beyond just myself, and to remember that I am connected to it all. Joy and cooperation are the key meanings of this card that we pulled today. The geometry of this card results, and we pulled the Merkaba yesterday as well. So it's like double Merkaba, right? Yesterday we pulled card 12. And today we pulled card 13. That's pretty cool. The interpenetration of 2 tetrahedrons forming a beautiful configuration called the star tetrahedron, or Merkaba. The Merkaba is believed to be a vehicle of dynamic balance, expanded awareness, and multidimensional travel. We talked about quantum immortality today, and there it is again. This image was inspired by witnessing wild dolphins for this amazing geometry. There are beings that exude the vibrations of joy and cooperative play, and some believe that dolphins hold a key to interdimensional travel. We have a South African friend here. Looks like the Star of David. It's almost like that, but this is a three-dimensional shape, where the Star of David is two-dimensional. Seeing dolphins play with these geometries helps us to understand the universality of the messages. And here's the meaning. Choosing this card asks you to connect with the joy that resides within you. We occasionally forget to exercise our joy factor. One message of the dolphins is that joy and laughter are always available. And through cooperation, we can share the joy of living. Visualize yourself as playing in this dolphin Merkaba and deeply experiencing pure joy. How can you better express your joy? How can you bring more laughter into your everyday life and share the way it feels? Joy is infectious. Become its expression. Yeah. Oh yeah. The joy of living. How can you share the joy of living? Not the joy of dying. The joy of living. Yes. I didn't pull anything. Only the weak can pull this. So bro, happy Friday. Bless you again. Ramdor. It's nice having you. Are your 7 chakras activated? Do you know about Kundalini awakening meditations? Yep, I've had Kundalini awakenings happening in me. Feeling the Kundalini rising in me. Reaching for the sky. Having that energy come back into my body. Patty, here's my suggestion. Oh, she asked her question. You have to look before the membership for my question. Oh, sorry, it got buried. Someone I love is still upset with me and not accepting my apologies. Do I keep trying or give them space? Jo seems to have an answer. She said, Here's my suggestion. If they ask for space, honor that space. Give them room to process without trying to force an outcome. Use that time to reflect, find your own peace, and pour energy into creating something good for yourself. You can check in every now and then with care, but without attachment to how or when they respond. That's great advice. Dolphins are telepathic. Oh yeah, I can hear them from watching them on TV. Crazy. Is Kundalini awakening dangerous? It could be. It could be. I do believe that you should be very mindful when practicing with those energies, right? I have been trained in creating something that's called a resonant energy field around me, so that when I'm in very open spiritual spaces, right, I have a bubble of protection around me that's constantly being output from my body that won't allow anything into me that I don't want, right? And not everybody has the same training to be able to keep potentially bad energies out of themselves. And as a result, they'll let darkness, demonic anger, take over. And that can be dangerous, right? You can hurt yourself, you can hurt other people. So, depends. So, it's a depends kind of thing. That's a great answer, Joe. Thanks. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Joe, for sharing that advice with Patty Priestess as well. For adding to this cohesive whole, this conscious evolution that we have shown up for. Joy to you all. Joy to you, Hoopy. Joy to every single one of the friends that joined us in this space today. To every single person on planet Earth. May they just feel a big rush of joy coming over their bodies. They don't even have to know where it came from. I just want them to feel good. I kind of figured yesterday, every time I tried to push my apologies, I got bad luck. Colette, love to you too, friend. Do Capricorns have strong connection to the sea? I don't know. I don't know, Joshua. I'm not really into astrology much. Are you going to end the live? The live is ending. Tara. For today. Tomorrow, around this time, minus 2.5 hours, I'll be live again. I'll show up here again for you, friend. Other people with their demonic stuff adding to the space. I can have some negativity in myself as well, alright? That happens to me too. I try to maintain the integrity of my personhood, Hoopy. I see the same for you. I'm glad I did. I'm glad you did too. Happy Friday, melted ones, that a niner. Sending you love, bless your friends, have a great weekend. Do ham sandwiches prefer hard cooler or soft lunchbox? I'm a hard cooler kind of person for my ham sandwiches. Okay, God bless you too. Bless you. Rena, I'm just entering the exit or something. I'm gonna say goodbye. Subscribe. I'll be here again tomorrow. I promise. I love ya, and I'll see you again soon. Goodbye, everyone. Have a beautiful day.